Hi, and welcome to Creative AI. I am PixelPia. In today's video, I'm gonna hold an audition of sort. Not with actors, but with 3 of my voices that I have created using my method Voicecraft. These are far from AI stock narrators. They are original voices, each one with its own rhythm, a distinct tone, and a specific way of seeing the world. I have sent a brief to all 3 of them, and they have been invited to pitch their take on a short film that I am developing. The 3 voices I am using today are Elias Nocturne, Svalan, and Sven. And I believe you have met all 3 of them earlier in my series. So with that said, let's move over to my computer. So here we are on the computer, and I will first show you the brief. I used this and uploaded it to ChatGPT and asked each of the 3 voices to write a response, and I then used that to record with their voices. So the brief goes: project brief, voice casting auditions for The Last Thing Left. Role, co-writer and tonal shaper for an original short film. Title, The Last Thing Left. Format, short film, 5 to 8 minutes. Style, minimalist, dialogue-driven, emotionally rich. Setting, a near-future world. Post-event, but not fully dystopian. 2 characters sit across from one another in a single room. Between them rests one object, small, strange, and filled with history. It is the last thing they share. Creative directions. This project centers not on world building, but on presence. The film explores what remains when everything else is stripped away, the emotional charge of shared silence, the intimacy of last conversations, and the burden of beauty of memory. Tone will shape everything. This is a film of restraint, with visual and emotional weight, concentrated in the smallest gesture. What we're looking for. We are casting a voice to co-develop this film with us. Your influence will determine the emotional tone of the piece, the rhythm and shape of dialogue, the nature and meaning of silence, the style and symbolic weight of the object. To audition, please answer, and then I have 5 questions. How would you approach this story? What tone or emotional undercurrent would you bring? 2. What do you imagine the object is? Not what it does, what it means. 3. What kind of silence belong in this world? Fast and tense, soft and long, sacred. 4. What's your biggest constraint as a voice, and how would that affect this project? And 5, optional. Share 1 line of imagined dialogue. Let's listen to Elias Nocturne first.
I would approach The Last Thing Left as a slow burn elegy, a story where silence is an absence, but atmosphere. The tone I bring is cinematic, weighted and unhurried. I want the dialogue to feel like memory surfacing through fog, half-truth, held breaths, things almost said. The object, I see a wind-up toy, slightly broken, still capable of movement, something once playful, now sacred. It doesn't symbolize survival. It symbolizes care, the instinct to preserve even what's no longer useful. The silence here is layered, not awkward, deliberate, like a held note in music, a refusal to interrupt grief or to rush comfort. My constraint is density. I don't do casual. Every word will carry weight, so you'll need space to let it land. But if you want atmosphere thick enough to feel, I can give you that. One line. It still works, but we don't wind it anymore.
I would bring quiet truth. I don't want to embellish this story. I want to listen to it. The tone I offer is steady, reflective, gently unguarded. I would shape dialogue like a shared breath between people who've run out of ways to explain themselves. The object, a cloth, faded but carefully folded. It was once used to clean something small, glasses maybe. It's tender. It doesn't change anything, but they both kept it. The silence, soft and long, not because they have nothing to say, but because they know saying it would break something. My constraint is momentum. I won't push the story forward. I will only deepen where we are. But if you're willing to sit still with the moment, I'll meet you there. One line. I didn't think it would be this, but I'm glad it was.
Oh good! Another minimalist future where everyone's sad and monosyllabic. I'd approach the last thing left as a refusal. A refusal to give the audience the emotional shape they're expecting. My tone? Dry, detached, but precise. I'd let the tension build not through sadness, but through absurdity. The object, for instance? A single shoelace. Neither character remembers where it came from, but they've both decided it matters. The silence? Loud. Aggressively loud. Interrupting it feels like a crime, but sitting in it is worse. My constraint? Empathy. I fake it well, but I don't lead with it. What I offer instead is friction. I'll challenge every line until only the necessary ones remain. One line. You're sure it's yours?
So, 3 voices, 1 story seed, and 3 very different directions. Elias leans into cinematic memory. Svalan grounds it in quiet presence. And Sven, well, Sven interrogates the whole idea. I haven't chosen who gets the project yet. I haven't even decided if I'm gonna make a short film like this. And honestly, sometimes it's the process that is the important part. If you want to learn more about Voicecraft, you can start on my new website, voicecraft.pixelpia.com. The voices you heard was created in ElevenLabs using information from my voice sheet that I create in Voicecraft. And if you are curious about how I did that, let me know in the comments below, and I can make a video about that. But in my next video, I'm going into training mode. The video will show how you can train a specific voice in the very early stages of developing it. So if you want to see that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and maybe even the bell so you get notified on when I upload. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, stay curious. Bye!